Hey everybody, what's up? This is Retrokid Reviews back on stationary stuff with some very delayed retro news, more specifically Toyfair edition. So, in case you could tell, we're skipping most of the Super Bowl stuff from last week, mainly because there wasn't a lot of trailers, and surprisingly, the Puppy Bowl probably had the best trailer with Super Bowl, which I may or may not have mentioned in last week's Retro Roundup. So, with that said, we're going to get into a very condensed version of Toy Fair news, mainly because Chrome, for some reason, on the laptop does not want to function, so that's going to be extremely hard when we get around to probably editing this video. So, desktop, I guess, filters it is, I guess, for as far as my PC goes. Don't know the specs, been a long family heirloomed one. It's a Dell. Don't need to talk about tech specs. So, let's get to some condensed stuff. Starting off on some major updates on lines that we already know about. Also, I don't have every single figure line video discussing a lot of waves that have been announced, especially more importantly in the McFarlane side of things. So I highly recommend Pixel Dan, Robodono, and if you're wondering why I'm on my sleeveless glove phase, is because I kind of cut myself up at work and I don't want to age gate this video any more than it already has. So with that said, let's get to some Playmates updates. I believe the Godzilla crossover figure line is absolutely real. Don't know if it's going to be here on Toku Nation's blog post about the whole thing. So most of the figures we're seeing here are a lot of Season 2 stuff, which means we are still very much in the throes of Playmates finishing the first 3 seasons, and then hopefully fingers crossed an original team or adapting post Mighty Morphin era teams, which would be nice. Also, as of this recording, if you saw my community notes, I did find subs to watch of Gavilan Infinity episode 1. I'm very much happy with what I saw. However, my highlights is basically the same thing I would have said if I saw the episode with full context. So again, with the rating, now that I can finally say I've watched an episode, it's definitely a good 7 out of 10 start. I kind of want to keep it on my not hindered, but like mild expectations going forward for the reboot of the Metal Hero series of its namesake. So that being said, Toku's out of the way because, like I said, there's not really much other than what we already know. Also, the Thunder Zords is kind of one of the rare blind spots of Mighty Morphin lore I don't personally own as toys. That and the Jetty Powers from the Lightning Collection line. So there's that. Also, Hasbro still probably has Super 7 ties with Power Rangers still. So maybe this was a 3-year contract that can dry up by next year. Who knows? And maybe Hasbro could get it back. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't really know the full details of who owns what still on the toys. So yeah, we got some major updates for the Mattel side of things. They're not starting off with their collector's line stuff when Mark McFarlane's done by the end of this year. They are going to be doing a big I guess release of kid-friendly versions of a lot of DC regulars, like Batman over here. This is a screenshot I got from Pixel Dan's video that did a better job covering the booth, so go to that video, obviously. Speaking of stuff, of the collection stuff, there's not too much I could talk about McFarlane's, I guess, final days of having the DC license. However, he is still not going to stop on every other angle. I think he's still doing blind boxes. He's doing some other gimmicky stuff to keep the collection alive, especially here with Helmet, and now I guess Cowl Batmans that I forgot to also put in this blog post that I found from, I literally forgot the name, Toy Arc. So again, links down below for that. Yeah, last up for their collection side of things, there was a big surprise that also happened. There's some re-releases of movie figures that pretty much everyone sort of knew. The one they didn't know, and me included, that would be the Brandon Routh version of Superman during Superman Returns, which is actually really cool. So, that's it for most of the collection stuff. I know I'm missing a lot of waves that McFarlane is going to be moving on from. I know they're doing a Dandadan wave for their anime line pretty soon. I know that Hellboy is going to get a figure finally, which means I can actually afford one that isn't boss fights ridiculous prices on Big Bag Toy Store, which means I could probably find one in the wild in my local comic shop and finally expand the JDX lore when it comes to, I guess, his training over the years as a kid. So be on the lookout for the K for that probably later this year. So, last up is going to be what is basically the crux of my channel. Nerf news, more specifically Hasbro Nerf first, and then Dark Zone. Main reason why, Hasbro pretty much all but triple confirmed that they are abandoning N1 and basically going to be doing a new line called, I forgot this blaster, but I believe this is the Doomland. No, not Doom. Hang on. There was a big blog post from Blaster Hub and a bunch of other nerfers that was there over the weekend. So, oh, Rebel Ops. Okay, so Rebel Ops is a really cool line that has a bunch of new waves of mostly traditional blasters, and yeah, you can already tell this is a traditional, I want to say, Elite 2.0 Eagle Point that is now basically a pump action. Despite the reuse, I might pick it up. It's actually okay idea. The gimmick for this one is that they have more modular stuff than usual for, again, a revolver main beginner blaster for kids. The stock over here on the darts is a shield buster kind of thing and a shield of its own if you want to extend it into the, I don't know if that's still end strike rail or leftover, I want to say maybe rival rail that they're going to be reusing now going on forward. The printing's not bad on this side, but if it's Nerf, like I think we all know Nerf at this point, it's only going to be printed on one side, so that's probably going to be the downfall for that, at least, not really sculpt-wise. The big draw here is Doom Cannon, and sorry for the very scrunched up zoom in, but this is not a joke. This is going to be the wraparound box for what is essentially the flagship. I think both Brett and Lord Draconical Drac definitely had a good time demoing the blaster at the booth, because we all thought since elites are back, is there a 50-50 chance that this has slam fire, given how unique the blaster is. We'll get more into that in a minute. The short answer is a big old yes, and let me just do this down. Sorry, I'm thinking on the fly. Oh, there was also some licensed stuff coming out. Obviously, there's going to be licensed stuff for Mandalorian Grogu, mainly because that movie's coming out. This is just reuse blasters from like multiple Star Wars waves ago, so we're not really gonna, I'm not gonna buy it for the black. I'm kind of kidding myself. I like the helmet, but I do like the blaster more. I think that used to be I want to say a solo blaster when that movie was coming out. Been a while. Now, another thing I want to get, before we get to Dart Zone, I also got to get to a lot of blasters they announced as well. Hopefully I can find that in the blog post for his big leaks. No, I have to dig. I'm so sorry. It's been a while. There were some in-person packages for most of the K-pop Demon Hunter stuff. Mattel's figures were also shown at the booth. I think on the Mattel booth, obviously. There's a lot of Melee coming out, and there was another licensed blaster I wanted to look up. That was X-Men 97 related. It was just another rough cut reskin. Another thing, I also know that they're revamping the Super Soaker line. If you have kids that want to play with this stuff over the summer, I think this new blaster is pretty good. It's like a dip in clear mag kind of blaster that also, I think, has like a different kind of way of pumping. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen these kind of air tanks or the new angled ones that the Hasbro's doing with the Super Soaker line. So, I'll probably give that a play with my nieces and nephews when summer rolls around. Don't know if I'm gonna play test it or review it. So don't hold your breath on that one. So, for the Dart Zone side of things, I legit forgot the name of this blaster, but the big gimmick of it is something straight out of the old Ultra line. You see that magwell right there? Yeah, that's a dual stage magwell, which means not only is that a dual stage magwell, you can select it to do semi and auto, and I think on the other side of the blaster, oh, by the way, we got another end strike rail attachment point, which is really good. They have their usual AR style rail stocks, which means buffer tubes are going to be very happy to have that. I want to say this blasters rails are almost Venom Pro coated, so that's pretty cool. So how you dual stage the blasters magwell is that grip right there, which I don't know if that's going to be ejected or deleted by the hobby, and they'll have like a better flick, kind of like AK mag style switch angle, which I think they will probably figure out later down the road with this blaster. So again, name escapes me, but again, this is a really cool flagship coming out so far. There's a lot of reprints or reskins. In case you could also tell, there's a new I guess elite not elite Nexus Pro X. I think this is going to be their Mark II because you can tell they deleted the barrel holder. I think it's just going to be P car or maybe B car. The real reason why is that they dropped the price down to 25, mainly for people to be adopted into that blaster format, which means the same case here for my sake of the channel. I'm probably going to have to make that a retro review, talking about the original Nexus Pro X and see some comparisons of what changed grip wise, and probably not much internally speaking. I also know they're doing an update for the X-Shot Long Shots Pro, mainly because they want to be more aligned and hopefully fix that bladder tank issue that they've been having with the plunger ever since that release, which means they probably swapped it to aluminum, I hope. If anything, I don't know how that's going to be price-wise. So that's really it. Again, I don't really have every single photo to show, so my dearest apologies. I think this is a big swing for Hasbro to go back to not only oh, here we go. So yeah, this is again mostly reuse of like Mando stuff. I think this is a reuse of an Eagle Point being a Mando blaster, which ironically is the most functional versus that limited collector's blaster they had a few years ago when the show was new, and a link to that if I mentioned it in the news before. But yeah, this is what I mentioned. Apparently, it's taking a lot of liberties from, I want to say, the Strike Back from N-Series, because it has like a retractable kind of gimmick with the pump when you want to like eject out. Again, go to my review. You'll know what I mean by that. Also, another thing I think they're borrowing from M series is that they're also going to have detachable stocks and stuff like that. But given that this is mostly a Wolverine-centric theme, I'm going to go minimalist with this loadout if I want to dedicate a real Nerf Logan loadout, which is going to be weird. So, voice acting ish aside, that's kind of it as far as Toyfair goes. I didn't get to every single blaster. I didn't get to every single wave. Of toys that are coming out from Hasbro. So, Dart Zone, I think, has a clear winner here. We're finally going to get the Renegade and I believe the Buccaneer, hopefully in stores here in the U.S. Under the Retro line. So if that's at a Walmart near you, I'll try to get that as a review and finally get around to doing a Percy Critical Role loadout, because I really want to talk about that when Season 3 rolls around. Or is it 4 at this point when it comes to Legend of Vox Machina? Confusing my content aside, go to, I guess, me over here talking about this news. What is your favorite news coming out of Toy Fair? What are you excited to see, hopefully, later down this year? And to the end cards, to my previous video, which is also, again, another news-heavy, I guess, month now at this point. Sorry for that. Talking about Toku stuff, obviously, Galvan Infinity, like I mentioned earlier. Go to, I want to say, a really decent Mando reuse, but I hope not. I don't know. The new trailer dropped also as of this recording, and it's a lot better than the last trailer, so, I don't know. Some mild optimism coming into it, so, again, justifying this Star Wars armor, just going to be real with you on Mando side of things. But, yeah, go to that over there to previous video and obviously shorts playlist, and hype point this video if you survived the YouTube down detector of 2026. Please let me know in the comments down below, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, that's a lot of fumbling for a lot of news. And I'm gonna be honest that Dart Zone, yeah, they're cooking more than usual, just saying, guys. It figured out, I guess, for the new year, I guess, or I guess a month in. What even is this year?